Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I have a level up project pan update. And this is not an exciting one because I haven't been able to reach the 4th level. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna redo the rules for this project pan. I wanna do this project pan not up until level 6, but I wanna do level 3 and then reset it, because what matters the most to me is to just rotate my collection. I'm thinking that this palette is gonna be here up until the end of the year. I have all the uses tracked down on a notebook, and I've used these a ton, but I also have my Franken palette, and I also love to pull out different eyeshadow palettes for the season or just for the sake of it, just to rotate my collection. I don't like my collection being neglected. So if you want to know more about this project, this was created by Sophie Alexandra, and you basically use an app to randomize your eyeshadow palette collection, and then whichever eyeshadow palette that comes up, depending on the level that you're in at that point, if it's level 1, you will have to heat pan in one shade and then use every single shade from the palette once, and so on. So right now I'm on level 3 with my Natasha Denona Sunset palette. So what I would have to do to get to the next level, or for me now reset the project pan, would be to have hit 3 pans on this eyeshadow palette and to have used each of these eyeshadows at least 3 times. You guys, I have my tracking sheet right here on my phone because every time I use this palette, I just track the amount of uses that I do. So if you want to see my update on how I'm doing on my level up project pan with the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, then just keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so one of the goals that I've hit so far with this palette is that I've heat pan in one shade, and then also that I have used all of the shades at least 3 times, and a lot of them more than that. So let's just do a close-up of the palette, but I will be showing you right here how many times I've used each of the shades. So Atmosphere, which is the first one, it has been the only pan that I've hit so far, and I used that eyeshadow so far 12 times to heat that pan. And it's a small pan because, like you guys see me today, this is the type of look that I will do for an everyday basis, and I basically use about 4 to 5 shades to create this look, just to do a gradient or to define my eyelashes or my lash line. And then I use detailed brushes. That's why my pans are always mostly smaller, because I use detailed brushes for all of my eyeshadow looks. So yeah, this one I used 12 times and heat 1 pan. Then for this one, I've used 8 times, and you can't even see a dent. You can maybe see it right here, but matte eyeshadows from Natasha Denona, they take longer for me to finish or to heat pan on if they're not in the cream to powder formula. So this is super dense and it's beautiful, and I could eventually heat pan on it, but I've used it 8 times and you basically see no wear and tear on that one. Then on this one, which is the shade Sinai, I've used this 3 times. It's not my favorite shade. It's sort of like a good transition sometimes, but I've been loving creating a bright inner corner. It's sort of like a soft cut creasy type of look. Sinai, Aubadi, and Morgana, which are these 3 shades, they already have pan, and I've used them all 3 times. Then for Ice Gold, I think this is the one that I've used the most. Oh no, I used this 11 times. But this one, I've been trying to hit another pan right here, and I've used this so much as an inner corner highlight or just to brighten my inner corner. Again, it already had pan, and I haven't been able to expand the pan, but it has a dip in it, and you will see that in the close-up. For this shade, Horizon, I've used this one 4 times, and I think this could be a shade that I would heat pan on if it wasn't that warm, you guys. So maybe I should do a get ready with me with this palette and just create a full orange look and then a nude lip for the fall season or something like that, to use this one more and more and see if I can hit the 3 pans eventually. But I've used this one 4 times. Then for this red shade, Pangene, I used this 3 times, and it took me ages to do that because I just do not like red eyeshadow. It's just not something that goes with my vibe. And if it was a shimmer, maybe I would love it more, but I had to use that sort of like a in-between transition, mixing it with other shades, because it was just a shade that I know I will never heat pan on or I think I will never hit pan on. Then for the mandarin shade, I use this one 3 times. For this one, which is one that I wanna hit pan on, but I do not love gold, this is Sun Dazed, and I've used that 6 times. Then for Igneous, I've used this one 6 times as well. And I could have used it more, but I rotate my browns so that I can keep hitting pan on them. I love this shade. This is a beautiful all over the lid type of brownie shade or liner shade or smoky eye shade. Then this is my favorite shade from the palette, and you can tell. But this one I tried not to focus on because it already had major pan, so I've used that 3 times, and it's the shade Bronzage. Terra, which is this one right here, I use this one 4 times. And then for Soul, which is, I have the same issue with this one as I have with the red one, I've used this one 3 times. So my goal of using each eyeshadow 3 times or more has been set, and then I have this pan as my first pan within the palette. So my goal for my next update will be to have heat pan in either of these 2 shades right here, because I need to, if I can, I will heat pan on both, you guys. I tried placing the shades that I wanted to focus on my Franken palette, and then since they're warm and all of the rest of the eyeshadow colors that I place on my Franken palette are more suited to what I'm loving right now, which is more of a cool tone vibe, I would never reach for them. So I have to keep it complete as a palette to make sure that I just heat pan on one of the shades eventually. But I will leave it until the end of the year if I have to, and then reset it for next year. But I want to try and make sure to heat pan in other 2 shades. And you guys, since I'm addicted to heating pan, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll in another palette, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna add another one like as a punishment for level 3. And what I want to try to do is, since my goal is to hit pan on 3 shades, that way if the year it's over without me hitting pan in the 3 shades that I want from this palette, while I have this palette on, I will have to have the sister palette, and I will have to use that 3 times each shade and try to hit 3 pans. So let's see which palette comes up in the Tiny Decisions app. And this is not one of the rules for the game or the project. It's just something that I want to do. Oh, you guys, I'm doomed. I pulled out the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome, and that for me, it's gonna be way harder than this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna veto that one, and I'm gonna pull out another one that will just be not necessarily easier, but that won't be the same type of palette as this one, because that one has mainly matte eyeshadows, and I already have about 2 or 3 that are right now on my Franken palette. So I want to just try and see if we can look for another palette. Okay, I'm gonna pull that one out because whatever wear and tear I get on that one, I will be happy with it. Even if I don't heat pan on it, just using all of the eyeshadows 3 times would be more than enough for me. And that is actually something that suits my needs at the moment, because I've been just loving using matte eyeshadow palettes. And what I got, if you couldn't tell, is the Too Faced Peachy Mattes palette. You guys, this is gonna be basically impossible to hit 3 pans, or maybe I will surprise myself, but this is how this palette is looking. It only has 1 pan in the shade Peach Tea, and then it has a dip in Chocolate Dip. It has wear and tear in Peach Merengue and Peach Tart, which is the brown on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to focus on Peach Merengue, Peach Tart, and Chocolate Dip to see if I can just abuse them a little bit more. But this is a no matte palette, and Too Faced eyeshadows, the mattes, they take longer to heat pan on. I'm not mad at it because I want to make sure to reach for it. Maybe I will show it in a Get Ready With Me. If you guys want to see these 2 palettes on a Get Ready With Me, let me know, because I would love to do so. I'm just obsessed by creating looks every day with different things that I wasn't thinking about using. So even though this has been discontinued and it's no longer available, if you have it in your collection or you have something matte, you can pull it out. So yeah, the goal now is gonna be to at least hit 1 more pan on the Sunset palette, which will be focused in one of these 2 eyeshadows, and then to hit 1 pan or just create more of a dip in Peach Merengue, Chocolate Dip, and Peach Tart. But at least I have to use each eyeshadow from this palette 3 times. Okay, you guys, So that's it for this Level Up Project Pan update. I'm excited because I added a new palette. I always want to have something that makes my creative juices go up and go crazy. I love you guys. If you want to see this look, this will probably be already on my channel, or it will be on my channel soon, because I'm trying to post these get ready with me videos once a week, but sometimes I film more get ready with me's a week than just one. For every product that I have on my face, I will leave a link below, and then of course I will leave the Natasha Denona Sunset palette linked below. This one has been discontinued. I will leave a link for the Too Faced palettes that are available right now in the description box below. I always leave a comment and a question in the comment section below so that we can chat about makeup and just to interact with you guys. I hope you are enjoying that I'm posting more shorts on my YouTube channel in between these longer videos, because that way we can get to know each other more and you can see more of what I do on a day-to-day basis, or just swatches of palettes and just me doing makeup on my brides and whatnot. I love you guys, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.